What up to my peoples, and welcome to Retro Crunch. And to start off this week's retro pop culture news.
Voltron, defender of the universe.
We have been waiting for a live-action Voltron movie for over 30 years. I know that beyond a live-action Transformers movie, which we got, a Voltron and MASK and a Thundercats live-action movie are three things that I really wanted to see in my lifetime. And it looks like the stars are finally aligning and we are going to be getting a Voltron movie, and I'm really happy for this news. So according to HollywoodReporter.com, there is a bidding war that's going on between 6 or 7 different studios to win the rights to make Voltron, with Warner Brothers and Universal and Paramount in the lead for the rights right now. I'm a bit surprised that Netflix bowed out, but considering that this movie is going to be super expensive to make, I think that probably Warner Brothers or Universal might win this. Another thing to note is that Rawson Marshall Thurber, he's the filmmaker who made the Netflix movie Red Notice, so he's going to be co-writing and directing this live-action Voltron feature. This is the part that I'm not so sure on. So based on some of Rawson's previous work, I really don't think that he's the right person to take on something as big as Voltron. We really need somebody like a Guillermo del Toro who directed Pacific Rim. I'd even go for those guys that designed the Megazords in the 2017 Power Rangers movie. But basically what I'm getting at is we need somebody who has proven that they can do a movie like this, and I'm just not really sure with the director that they picked. Now those movies, they definitely weren't as big as what Voltron could and probably will be and what the fans want, but I think that they would even do a better job than Rawson. The Voltron cartoon of the 80s, it definitely had a comedic tone to it, which I hope that they inject some into this new movie, but I also think that we really need to see a lot of Voltron. We need to stick to the 80s style and look of Voltron. Don't Michael Bay this movie to where Voltron isn't even recognizable. And then I want to see the Lions throughout this whole movie, battling against Lotor and Zarkon, and there has to be at least 2 or 3 formation sequences where the Lions combine to form Voltron. Growing up in the 80s and even now, I love everything about Voltron. The toys, definitely. The tunes, everything about them is just great. But what about you? Are you ready to finally be getting a live-action Voltron movie? Who do you hope wins the rights to make this movie? Let me know in the comments down below. Alright, so moving on. Calling all Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans, especially those that like the video games. Game maker Konami, they announced that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga collection, is being made. It's going to have 13 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games from the franchise's late 80s to the early 90s heyday. And here's a list of those games that's going to be released on the Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and PC in 2022. Konami said on their website that the collection is going to cost $39.99 for the whole set, which is for digital download, and you can also get this in physical copy. I'm going to wait for the physical copy because I'm old school like that. But if you're interested, I'll link to the website down below if you want to check it out. Oh, and who doesn't like a really cool set of dice for Dungeons and Dragons? And even more, what if it comes in an 80s inspired VHS case? I found this crowdfunding campaign for this awesome looking retro dice set. I'm usually really picky on my dice that I use in the game, but this is a must-have. Now, I'm going to link to their page down below if you want to get in on this deal. I believe it's on Kickstarter. I'm really tempted to get in this myself. And then here's a few stories that we're not going to cover a lot, but I'll link to them down below. There's a biopic that's being made about Whitney Houston, and then another biopic that's being made about Dolly Parton. I want to see both of those. Then it looks like Christina Ricci's been picked up to play some part in the new Wednesday TV show that's being made by Tim Burton. That should be interesting. Then finally, if you're into retro news and nostalgia stuff from back in the day, I'll see you in the next video. I'll catch you on the flip side, and remember, if it ain't retro, it ain't worth watching.